Thanks for staying with us. Now, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabor, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, has vowed to investigate the illegal insertions at the Trans-Escravos pipeline in the Yokiri area of Delta State. The duo made a promise after visiting the scene of the insertions on Friday. Speaking to reporters, General Irabor vowed to launch a full-scale investigation into the illegal activities within the area. Now, Mazi Chinedum Obia is still here with us to discuss this and more. Mazi, what was your reaction when you found out about that incident or that story as well? What was the first reaction you had?
My reaction was that I wept for this country. I wept for this country. And I wept for our unborn children. I wept for, and I concluded that Nigeria is wicked. Nigeria is wicked and badly corrupt. That was my reaction. Seeing how these things have been going on for the past 22 years, which means it didn't start today.
No.
It has been there. And I followed the story where somebody said, it takes two to tango.
Mm-hmm.
Before these things are happening, the community would have been involved.
Exactly.
Do you know what it takes for a ship to come in to steal our crude oil? Who gave the approval for the arrival of the ship? Who was there? And after loading this crude oil, who gave a discharge order? It wasn't one day. It wasn't 2 days. Something has been fundamentally wrong. So, to answer your question was, I felt bad and sad. And I said Nigeria is wicked and Nigerians are wicked.
Well, you just raised some pertinent questions, but they say, according to them, that this has been on for 9 years, and there have been different 22 years. There have been questions in different quarters. Some people are saying that how come that has been going on for 9 years? Nobody said anything. Nobody noticed. It's quite conspicuous. If you saw the illegal pipelines, they were quite conspicuous. And then the fact that some people are also saying that if you look at a graphical representation of when the oil production in Nigeria dropped from 2 million barrels, that was in 2016. Some people, coming with political, prism, saying that this was or started in 2016 and that it's not up to 9 years, and that these people just tried to rope in the PDP, saying that it went back as far back as 2014 and not and some people are saying that it's so a lot of issues have been coming up from this discovery. But the question would be, how come nobody said anything, nobody noticed anything, even if it has been on for, even if it's just 3 years? You can't have that kind of structure in place. The group MD of NNPC said this was professionally done, so you can't have that kind of structure in place and nobody took notice of it.
It's worrisome. And that's why I said that it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
And for it to have been going on, whether it is 2 days or 3 days, 1 year, the story I read was for 22 years, which means it wasn't even this time. I also remember the group managing director of NNPC, as it were, also came on air sometime in one of the channel, one of the platforms, and complained after the NNPC was unbundled. He said that there are so many people that are involved in the oil theft. He said the military, he said the NNPC staff, he said all arms of government are involved. And I remember one of the presidential aspirants said that they went to detain him. They went to arrest him and detain him because he said that those in government are the robbers or the thieves that are stealing our crude oil. Then he questioned, how is it that this thing has been going on without anybody noticing it? Like you said, or he asked me, he said, the nature by which these things are being stolen. I watched the program, and the interview was saying, look at, where is the cover of this pipe? He opened one of this, he said, all these are crude oil, not water.
No water.
I said how it was connected from that angle straight to the offshore, where their ship or whatever was being stationed. And it takes for some days before it gets on. And it has been going on. That gives you an impression that this country, let me with due respect, that this country is sick. There was a time I came here on board, I said, even the military, the police, every arm of this military aspect, they bribe their ways to be posted to this area because of. I have a friend whose child was happened to be in the, I think, Air Force.
Air Force.
Right? And he said, Daddy, I'm working towards being posted to either Bonny, Warri, or any place. And there's nobody, either military or civilian, who has worked there who does not smile home with, to the bank. So it is a matter of compromise. Our security aspect has been compromised. And this is one of the reasons we are talking about corruption. No, but don't be surprised it will be short-lived. The story is here. But thank God that you journalists have gone out to investigate. But then the question that man asked was, you open, say, look at this big pipe. I saw the pipe. He said, where is the cover? Where is the cover? Who took the cover? And they now trace it from there where they laid their own pipe. From it was the original pipe where they connected it. Then joined it to where they siphon our oil. So that doesn't that give you concern that something is wrong? That all those that are there supposed to be arrested, prosecuted, and even not only shot. It's unfortunate.
It would seem like there's complicity when it comes to multiple agencies involved in this. Remember, it wasn't until the billionaire businessman Tony Olumelu raised concerns that about 95% of Nigeria's oil was being stolen before we had
not only even Sanusi when it was central bank government.
Yes,
he was saying
yes, but what I'm saying is it was when Olumelu made his own assertions that we now began to have investigations. At the time Sanusi made his, we didn't have any investigation.
There was no reaction.
Exactly. Now the point is, with the professionalism involved in connecting the pipes,
that was the question that reporter asked. He raised it. He asked Nigerians, he asked the whole world, where is the cover? Who did this? It wasn't a day job.
It wasn't.
For
exactly.
that thing to have been so vandalized, connected, as if nothing was happening, means that it was professionally done.
And that brings me to the next to the question that how can the federal government, NNPC, every stakeholder involved investigate this. What I'm saying that is, it's apparent that there's, that multiple sister agencies involved in this issue of oil theft, especially from this, one that has been uncovered. How will you expect the federal government to approach this investigation to, find out the culprits that are behind this?
Yeah, you are asking me a question you ask me sometimes. Yeah, political will. Political will. Okay. That was why one of the presidential aspirants said, those that will be bold enough to call a spade, to make sure that anybody caught is not only prosecuted on papers or media trials, but straight to the court and obtain conviction and let them pay for the price of their sin. That's the issue. If you, of course, who is the Minister of Petroleum? Who is that? He's not our president. So
he's not heard anything from even the Minister of Petroleum ever since this was discovered.
He
has been there since he came on board. He has been the minister.
I mean, he hasn't said anything.
He hasn't said anything now. That's what I'm saying. He has been the minister. He was even the minister during when I think when he was in charge of that was before
in the 80s. Yes,
in the 80s when he was military
administration.
He has been in charge. And from the report I read, like you were saying 9 years, I read about 22 years. It didn't start from general administration. It started maybe immediately we came back from this last dispensation. So which means it didn't start today, and it was done professionally. That it is from here. After a while, they now managed to cover it. Now connect it to where it's supposed to be. After about 1 or 2 weeks, do you know how much we have lost?
You know,
it's unfortunate. So it calls for action. So some of us, you see, that's why I've always said talk is cheap. Don't be surprised that nothing will be hard.
But this was credited to the Tompolo security outfit, and the federal government has said that this was discovered after, you know, they contracted that pipeline surveillance award to Tompolo. Do you think that perhaps this is some justification for the money paid for that surveillance pipeline, you know, contract, or do you think that there is still some form of organized crime in this regard?
He has to justify the 4 billion naira being paid to him
every month.
Every month, he has to justify it. If you are,
so is it justified in your opinion?
No,
or is it some form of
himself? It justifies it to make you and I appreciate what he's doing or what he's supposed to be doing. So which means he is now saying, look, if not now I came in, this wouldn't have. I read where he said that it was about 58 that more had to be discovered, right? Now, my question is, why must a single and individual be given a contract to be the protector of our oil wells or whatever? A single person. That's why I'm also quarreling with the Dangote. Dangote is everywhere. I don't have any issue, but then I've always complained that let there be a strong institution, not a strong human being. Strong human beings have destroyed this country. So, Tompolo, what do you expect him to do? He will tell you, look, I came in, look, I told you, I'm going to do more. What about the intermediary, the mediator, who has been, I read where they said that he was the one even asking the bandits to be demanding money. What again do you expect? No, Nigeria will give him more contract. What about our? Because even in 1990, during Babangida's coup, there was a slang, who now guides the kite? Who protects a person that's supposed to be protected? Allow me use this word. A dog eating the meat that is kept under her custody. That is what is happening. So many things are. I don't know how we are going to survive in this country, because if I was meditating, within myself, I said, honestly, if not that some of these power hungry, I would have advised some of them should withdraw from this political presidential aspect, because what is there is too endemic that when you get there, you will not know that it. I am also saying, if Buhari, our president, knew that this Nigeria is so in depth and very troublesome, he wouldn't have, because of his health. He never, if not because of power, hunger and things like that. What is happening? The new incoming administration is going to have more problem. There are so many things bad in this country, so many areas. There's not which department is not corrupt. Even in the National Assembly, right? We have not even discussed about the 2023 appropriation bill. Before you know it now, they're padding, greasing of palms and things like that. So every system is corrupt. Look at this oil. Do you know how much we are losing? And that is why when we talk about restructuring, they now say no.
Let's look at this. I mean, this is just one major pipeline, you know, in terms of diverting our oil. If going by Tompolo's assertion, that's true, it means we have about 58 more of such pipelines, you know, out there that are yet to be uncovered. It leaves the question, how can we even, you know, truly ascertain how much we produce as a nation daily?
The question has been there now. Even I think the junior minister for Petroleum, I said that we don't even know. Yes, he said we don't know. We don't know how much oil we produce. We don't know how much we consume. I think was it Hope Uzodinma also said, I think what they said about 7 million barrel of whatever liters of oil we consume. He questioned. He said no. They don't know how much they produce. They don't know how much we consume. So that's the issue. Nobody is held accountable. Nobody.
The question
is just go and make your own money and come back. Nothing.
Mazi, the question will be this: where does this leave us? Because let's not forget that just last week you had OPEC members cutting, oil production as well. The rates, and it spells more doom for Nigeria in that sense. So, if we can uncover probably half of these so-called 58 pipelines out there that are yet to be uncovered in terms of our oil being smuggled, how does this help us as a nation? One, then two. If we fail to uncover those, pipelines, maybe we just uncover 2 or 3 more. How does this affect the economy? Remember, we still have to borrow again to even service the debt going into 2023 budget.
If we put the right people and they are expected to do the right thing, and some of these leakages are sutured, it will help to improve the economy. We will no longer borrow. Because even this one now, I read where we say we are borrowing about 22 trillion to finance our own budget is about 20 trillion. And we are borrowing 22 trillion.
11 trillion for 2023. Yeah. 11.
So now, what do you say? There will be constant poverty in this land. Unemployment will be there. Insecurity will be there. Some of this money, I asked a question here. You and Bolade give me an answer. I say, this 50 billion, a million, 50 million, 100 million being demanded by the Boko Haram or by the bandits, how do they deposit it? How do they withdraw it? They withdraw it from the bank and they go somewhere and drop it. How do they, the bandits, how do they go there and collect it? Are people not seeing them? The security people are not seeing them. So it will go a long way. If all these things are put in check or being checked, our economy will pick up. We will borrow less. And this, with what is being produced, we use it to service our debts. So that's the issue. But unfortunately, everybody goes there to make his own means, to make his own money, because it's community good that dies of hunger. Go and chop your own national cake. That is what is happening there. Everybody go and chop your own. Go and chop your own. Go and chop your own. So Nigeria is bad, and we have bad leaders, and that is why you and I, maybe that day you will shut down this studio for a while. Go and vote, and that's why I've been clamoring. Let there be a system. You can go to any polling booth and cast a vote. And come back to do your job without going to queue. Because if we get it right, get the right people to be responsible, people that have the fear of God, people that have conscience, people that will know that they are servants, because they are our servants, right? We employ them. But when they are not begging us, they've written application, we are considering the application. Very soon we are going to now appoint them, or they are going to appoint themselves. They are going to impose themselves on Nigerians to do what they want instead of doing what we want. So if we get the right people on board, they'll be able to say enough is enough. This place should be sutured. This place should not be so. OPEC said, look, we are cutting down. It's not going to affect us. It's going to affect us. It's not affecting us. Even at that now, how many times I read somewhere they said the oil subsidy will go first June
2023.
And what has happened with the ones they've even taken away?
Well, OPEC has said that the quota for Nigeria would remain the same, even despite the fact that they are cutting theirs down by 2 million barrels per day. But let's look at the fact that now the group MD of NNPCL Limited has said that they would investigate this. Also, the Chief of Defense Staff has also said the same thing. Do you see them following this through to a reasonable end to, nab those responsible for this act?
Ordinarily, your guess is as good as mine. I would have expected, I would expect that they will follow, they will be able to unearth those responsible. But I have my fears and doubts that later or nothing will be achieved, because they are part of the system.
Who? The investigators?
Yes, now, they have been there now. Is it when I say something happened? They are part of it now. I'm able to say that nothing will come out of this investigation. Is it today they've been investigating? But the issue is this. Nigerians are bleeding from the nose, from the eyes, from every part of the body. We need to get this country moving. The country is not moving. And some people are holding us hostage. And that's why these things are happening. That's why we talk about restructuring. They say no. When we talk about it, they say no. Some of them have stayed there more than 10, 15 years, 20 years. When the time of transfer comes, they will now go and lobby themselves out, fix themselves there. Just like what is happening in police and custom. Right? There are some custom officers that have remained in one particular station for more than 10 years. There are policemen that have remained even in Kenya here or elsewhere more than 10 years. They are untouchable. When the issue of posting comes, they will go to Abuja. So are we in a banana republic? Can't we do the right thing? So the chief of defense, chief of Irabor has said it, and the group managing director has said it. Thank God he indicted the government officials. He said government officials, the military, and all those that were involved in all this racketing. It's not shameful that we are having something in Nigeria. Something that one day this oil will dry up. We'll come back to square one.
Well, I think that's a good place to leave it. Thank you so much, Mazi Chinedu, for your thoughts on the show this morning.
It's my pleasure having me.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break now. When we come back, it will be time to talk money. That's focusing on personal finance right here on iBrandTV. Please stay with us.